So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you guys are. So guys, I want to jump straight into it. Yesterday we had a press conference between Caleb Plant and David Benavidez. Very fiery press conference between the two. Benavidez and Plant, going at each other. Obviously there's a element of promoting the fight, but I think this is real. These guys don't like each other. This was really heated, and at times I think they needed security there. They needed people to split them up, because both these guys don't like each other. They don't like each other, and this is going to be a very fiery build-up. I think David Benavidez tried to play the guy that is trying to put fear into Caleb Plant. I think Caleb Plant oozes confidence. I don't think he's afraid or scared of David Benavidez. David Benavidez is trying to come across the big bully in the room and almost trying to bully Plant, trying to make him like, yeah, you're scared. I can see fear in his eyes. But Caleb Plant looks calm, relaxed, and calculated. And I think he knows what he's got to do. David Benavidez, Caleb Plant's been there. He's proved that he's a top class fighter. Benavidez is yet to prove himself. So this is an opportunity for Benavidez to really show the world how good he is. Benavidez was trying to stamp his authority on that press conference. He was trying to let Caleb know that, look, I'm going to do serious harm to you. I'm going to do damage. I personally think that this press conference, it was a good, lively press conference. And that's what you're going to get from these two, because this is genuine. This isn't a case where, the guy's putting it on. These guys don't like each other. It's pretty plain and simple. They just don't like each other. They just don't get on. And, they're both going to try to do serious damage to each other. Now, Caleb Plant also mentioned the fact that, you've got no, I think Benavidez said you got no power. And he goes, that's what Darrell thought as well. And look what happened to him. I don't think David Benavidez needs to underestimate Caleb Plant's power. I think Caleb Plant has enough power. If he gets everything behind his punches, I think he can hurt Benavidez. Plant is a very good boxer, very fast. And that could be a problem for David Benavidez. So I think Benavidez shouldn't underestimate the fact that Caleb Plant's not a big puncher. Yeah, he might not be a big puncher, but that doesn't mean he can't do damage to David Benavidez. For me, David Benavidez has got to be on his game. He's got to be smart. He's got to be cool, calm, and collected. He's got to make sure that he's on his game. Because if he's not, I'm pretty sure Caleb Plant can hurt him. I don't think you should ever go into a fight against another pro boxer assuming that he's not going to be able to hurt you because his record doesn't suggest he's got power. I remember when Carl Frampton fought Josh Warrington. I think Carl Frampton went into that fight thinking this guy's not a massive puncher, and Carl Frampton was surprised in the fight that actually Warrington's a much bigger puncher than he thought. Warrington was naturally a bigger man than Carl Frampton. So for Frampton to have that kind of attitude, and he also had an attitude where he thought that I'm much better than him. I'm better than him every department. And he realized in that fight that actually Warrington's a lot better than what I thought. And sometimes when you underestimate somebody, you go into a fight and you think that, he's nothing. I'm going to smash him. I'm going to do this, that. And he actually a lot better than what you think. It's much harder. It's harder for you to adjust in the fight because you was expecting the guy not to be anywhere near as good. And all of a sudden, this guy's ended up being much better than what you thought. So psychologically, you're not ready. You're not mentally prepared for that because you're expecting it to be a certain way and the fight ends up being a certain way. So I think David Benavidez shouldn't underestimate Caleb Plant in any way because Caleb Plant is a real tough guy. He's very skilled. He's very determined. And this is for Caleb Plant is an opportunity to really stamp his claim because what Caleb Plant, look, this is an important fight for both. If Benavidez loses, people will say he's a hype job. If Caleb Plant loses, people will say, look, Caleb Plant's not a top tier fighter. He's gotten beat by Canelo. He's got beat by David Benavidez. So it's a case where for David Benavidez, it's an opportunity for him to prove to the world. For Caleb Plant, it's an opportunity to say that, that Canelo fight, although we lost, and although he put in a good performance, it wasn't a one-off performance. He's actually a top-tier fighter, and fighting anybody but Canelo, Caleb Plant will beat him. That's the kind of in my opinion, that's what Caleb Plant will be looking to do. I think Caleb Plant will be looking to show that he's one of the best super middleweights in the world. I don't think he beats Canelo, but if he beats David Benavidez, you can make an argument he's definitely the second best super middleweight in the world. So, you know, like I said, Caleb Plant would stamp his claim, and Canelo's not going to be around forever. You know, we don't know how many more fights he's got. We don't know whether he's going to campaign at super middleweight. Canelo is kind of up and down the weight. So yeah, you know, Caleb Plant will get will get an opportunity soon, especially if the belts become vacant, which they probably will do, because they like to you know, have different champions fighting for the belts. And you know, at the minute, I don't think anyone's complaining because Canelo Alvarez holds all of them, and I think none of the governing bodies are going to mind Canelo holding them with the kind of star he is. So yeah, I think one thing I wanted to point out, though, I know this hasn't got anything with the Benavidez thing fight, but one thing I find a bit funny is that Arthur Beterbiev and Bivol fight is seemed to be, they're basically trying to call that say that fight can't happen for the Undisputed because the WBC won't allow Russian fighters. They've got a ban on Russian fighters. But then someone, Luis Suarez, pointed out to me yesterday saying that, Imran, well, how does that make sense? Because Eddie Hearn's talking about Bivol fighting for Undisputed at 168. But how can he fight for the WBC? If it's the same problem, right? Because Dimitri Bivol will be banned to fight for the WBC. So he was suggesting, Luis Suarez, who's a good dude, who's a subscriber to my channel, watches my videos. He said that it's probably a case where WBC are protecting Canelo and they want Canelo to get that Bivol fight rather than the Beterbiev Bivol fight. He goes, that's the only way I can break it down, because why would Eddie Hearn be talking about an Undisputed fight when the WBC have clearly said that Bivol can't fight for Undisputed because they're not going to sanction the WBC belt? So that would be the same problem with Canelo, because Canelo holds a WBC belt. So how can Bivol fight for the Undisputed at 168 but then not fight at 175? I know there's nothing been talked about at 168. There has been rumors about 168, but Bivol would have the same issue there. If he can't fight for the WBC, he can't fight for the Undisputed title. So that is a bit bizarre to me. Is that a case where the WBC don't want the Beterbiev Bivol fight because they want Canelo to get his fight? I don't know. I don't know what's all behind that, but yeah, that's just a little bit bizarre to me, and I wanted to point that out because I thought that was a little bit ludicrous. And I think Luis Suarez made a point that I actually didn't think of. But yeah, the Benavidez Caleb Plant fight is a great fight, and it's a fight that really deserves a title, really. It's sad that, you know, the one man holds all the belts. It's good in a way one man holds all the belts because we know who the best in the division is. However, some people would argue that, but Caleb Plant and David Benavidez is a fight that you could probably say could be for 2 belts. You know, it's that big a fight. It's that good a fight. And it deserves that kind of recognition and promotion. These are the type of fights. Look, this isn't a super fight, but it's just slightly below a super fight. And it's a fight that, you know, I think is a quality cracking fight for the fans. And a fight that, you know, I think fight fans deserve fights like this. You know, it's a mega fight in my opinion. So yeah, hopefully we can get this fight on and it turns out to be a cracker. So yeah, leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'd love to know your opinion. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, guys.